What I try to teach to my students sometimes is never trust a piece of wood. I mean, sometimes you can be surprised by in positive way or in negative way.
Or what you find inside it. Yes. Yeah.
But actually, there are a number of, for instance, today of tools to detect what is the quality of wood. For instance, to check the density, the speed inside the grain, and all other things. But what should be the more important thing is the experience and to understand the smell. I mean, to figure out what is the possibility, the tonal possibility of a piece of wood.
So do you tap it? Do you listen to it?
Yes, you tap it and you smell it. You
touch it. Smell it.
Yes, you can also smell it. and at certain point, I'm sure of the material only when I start carving it.
Right.
Okay, and even when you start join the piece or the two pieces of wood together, you use the plane and you listen to the sound of the wood, and especially when you carve it, you have a good sensation, and you try to understand what the material you're working.
Yes. And you've put the oldest grain in the center. That's right.
Yes.
So that's the outside of the tree there.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
More open. Yeah.
Because we use the tree. Okay, this is the tree.
Yes. Yeah.
This is. Pretty small, and so we split in this direction, and we take a section this way.
Yeah, or slab.
Yes. And we saw it in the middle and open it like a book. Enjoyed it in order to have a symmetrical grain on the center line.
And then, of course, to get it, and then you flip it over.
Yes, also, but many Strad also use one piece front, other makers.
So Stradivari, you'll get wide grain one side and thinning out the other.
That's it.
I'm trying to put this well. We're working with an instrument in Washington. It was an Amati. And working with the composer. And we were thinking about what the fundamental artistic tools are. And one of the tools is going to be dark and light. And in terms of, say, that might be the relationship between summer and winter. And suddenly we realize, so if you look at this here, so we have winter growth, and then you have the spurt of spring and summer growth where it goes out, which means that every single one of these tells you whether there was more or less rain that time. So effectively this dialogue here are years of drought, years where there's some wetter years there with the trees. But this actually, in some ways, is also the same as a musician, as what goes into music, the dark and the light. The wood itself is already telling these stories. Even before you start to work, and then you hand it to me, if you like, the aesthetic of growth, of life and death, is already in the wood. We're working with something really primal here. And that's I like what you said about being surprised by the wood. Because that's what you're being surprised by, aren't you?
Absolutely. And what is so fascinating me about wood, this attitude in keeping the memory of the season, of the time.
Yeah.
They're kind of, memory hard disk. They contain a number of information.
Yeah.
Here we have two. This is the modern one. I was taught in Cremona to make a violin.
This is a modern mold.
Yes, yes, in which you are supposed to use metal clamps in order to fix and glue the blocks and the ribs that are the stripes of wood that create the contour, the outline of the violin.
So that's being made at the moment.
Yes. And this is the ancient Cremonese mold used by Stradivari. That it was quite a different process during the making because it didn't have any metal clamps probably. So you put some wood rod in the holes and then you clamp the sides and the blocks with a rope.
Do you
Tighten it up.
Would you tighten the rope using water on it? Would you
Yes, it's possible. Yes. It's if you wet the rope when it gets dry, start to be you will have a tighter grip.
I'm thinking about shipbuilding because that's how they do it.
That's it. Yes.
Because I'm thinking we're in Genoa. We're in a shipbuilding company.
When you have the sides on the mold, you are supposed to finish the scroll, the neck.
Would you then go and start making the neck and scroll when you've done that, or would you do it all at the same time?
Well, if you go in the modern way, you can even make the scroll in the end of the process.
Yes.
While if you go into the ancient making system, you had to do it before, because in the modern contemporary way, you can think about a sound box. That is this.
Yeah.
You can complete it totally, even with perfectly rounded the edges and finish
all
it.
the decoration.
Yes, all the decoration. And then you prepare your scroll, your neck, and you set it into the body with a mortise. Okay, cutting and inserting. And this is a different point of view from the ancient system, in which you have quite a skeleton. That is the sides and the neck.
Yeah.
And this is quite a flexible
Before
structure.
you've put the plates on the outside.
Yes, so when you finish the ribs, you take the mold off, and you take the neck, and you take a hammer, take 3-4 nails, and you bang it in the.
So that means you'd have taken the mold out. So the neck is attached there, and the nails go in there.
Yes, and the nails are going through the upper block this way, and you have to hammer that much. We contemporary makers are always quite precise, very delicate, and take care of a lot of things. But when you have to hammer, really you have to do that, and
this
you
is
fear
out
to
of the
smash
mold,
something.
and this is very thin.
Yes, and everything is thin and delicate, and you fear to split the block. But anyway, when you had fixed the neck on the ribs, okay, you have this flexible structure. So you fix it on the back.
The back goes first.
Yes, the back goes first. You have previously traced the back on the mold.
Yes.
Okay, and lock it with 2 pins.
The 2 pins going in there.
These are the pins. Yeah. So, and when you have to go for the front, you have to adjust the neck in order to have the correct alignment.
How long will you allow the glue of the back to dry onto the ribs before you put the front on?
The normal time that the glue used to dry, that is maybe if you're in a hurry, you can do it in the same working day also.
Yeah.
So minor adjustment can be done with this, through the flexibility of the structure.
So then the front goes on, and the neck is already on, but presumably the fingerboard is not on at this point, is it? Because
there are good reasons to see that the fingerboard was on, but other to think it was not. It's not clear, really.
The fingerboard being on makes it easier to see the line.
Yes, because absolutely. But you can also, another solution is to hang a string and hold it
like a plumber.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like a plumber.
Exactly. So you can center the violin also without the fingerboard.
And that would go through the back here. Where would you put that?
Yes.
Or just down the middle here?
Yes. They were so fast, even with this making system, that for us is a little bit more complicated because it's a different way of viewing, totally. And so they didn't do anything that was not really necessary for the purpose.
So sempre deciso.
Esatto.
Really
So this, I think there are 2 steps clearly different in the making process. First, the structure, and in the end, the decoration. So they could also make perfectly eventually with the fingerboard glued on the sound box.
What is the purfling? What are you talking about?
Purfling. No, this is still a rough violin because we don't have any decoration on the edges. And this purfling are 3 stripes of wood black, white, black. The black usually was in Cremona poplar wood, stained. And
oh, it's stained. Yeah.
Stained.
What do they stain it with?
Well, probably a kind of oxidation. I used to do this with iron and vinegar. So
right, okay.
it works.
Yeah. And it smells.
But for yes, it's smelly.
Making
it's smelly.
violins is a very smelly process, isn't it?
It is. But for instance, what I was admiring on your violin, Amati, yesterday, you see the black of the purfling.
Isn't it beautiful?
A miracle. Yes. A miracle. Yeah. Looks like ebony because it's so brilliant.
Yeah.
So there's striking black, really. And give me the recite.
And it's not faded.
I don't know.
And you see other makers where the purfling fades over time. Yeah.
Yes, because for instance, what Guarneri use walnut wood. And I use that when I made Guarneri copy. So I asked myself why. Okay, it's an easy answer because you can even bend with no heat.
Right. So
very easy to bend.
So you bend this with the rib. You bend this on an iron.
Iron,
yes.
and also water.
Water as well.
This is somebody use to bend it dry. Somebody use water. This is at your choice. For instance, probably Guarneri used to bend also with water. You see burnt on the sides, but also waves going up. So this is typical.
Where does the purfling go?
Well, cutting. Well, maybe I have a purfling cutter. Yes, this is. Mm-hmm. It's it's a blade, and he had to fix it properly at the required distance. This is about 4 millimeters from the edge. You run the whole outline with that, and somebody used double blade, but the old purfling cutter was a single blade, so you have to do it twice at the required thickness, so at the required distance. So in order to cut a channel, with a small chisel, you will clear the channel and then you will insert the purfling. But this is also this is fundamental for the aesthetic of the violin. But this is not a great invention because this is works as a protection.
To protect a crack running to the edge. Yes.
Right, exactly, exactly.
So when you're cutting a channel like that, is it better to go slowly and carefully, or like Michelangelo carving decisively? Because
Good question. I remember for me, I was so slow, and I was taught to this with great attention and be careful, mind you, and yes, you have to have a good hand. But I remember Maestro Renato Scrollavezza.
Yes.
He passed away a few years ago. He was the Canone curator in the 1990s. Yes. I remember him. Okay, on the bench, cutting the purfling. Okay. Take a knife like that.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 minutes, channel finished. Because very fast.
Because because the decisive gesture gives you a clerer line, of course.
Right.
If you're going like this, I can think of a bow stroke.
That's it.
It's this. If
Exactly.
I hold the bow, if I hold the bow tight and I go slowly, I'll get that.
Right.
But if I go, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you go millimeter for millimeters, this will be going to be a never-ending work. Yeah. But if you figure out to use a long gesture and cut it perfectly, okay, you can be very fast. And I'm sure that the old makers were so fast. But what is to me fascinating, if you see a Stradivarius corner, it's meant to be Stradivari the perfect work. And the best in the static edge work. Okay, yes. If you check the corner, not very often they are not exactly the same. Therefore, they are different. Sometimes you use two to fill complete with stucco inside, sometimes not. And this is in this you see the artistry of this great maker, because he always deceives your eyes.
Yes. What does it feel like to get a violin back after you make it nearly 15 years ago, and when you get an instrument back, is it interesting to see what's happened or changed with the instrument?
Exactly. Yes, it's important check for a violin maker. So this happens only if you deal directly with the player.
So when did you make this one?
This is 2010.
2010.
And that was made for a dear friend of mine who passed away last year. That was Philippe Borer. Philippe Borer was a violin player, a researcher, a philosopher.
So a theorist.
Yes, yes. And he was a humanist also. It's a part of you coming back from the past. In acoustic, yes, because it's the air that makes the sound. Yes, it's the air vibrating.